Good morning. I'm Karen Yankovich, and I am here live every day this month with LinkedIn profile tips to help you create a great LinkedIn profile, one simple task at a time. And we are live on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube and Twitter. So wherever you're watching this, whether you're watching it live or on the replay, I would love for you to share this with your audience if you think they can benefit by some great a great LinkedIn profile in 2022. And if you haven't yet joined our free LinkedIn for Women community, join us at it's a free Facebook group at linkedinforwomencommunity.com. So I'd love for you to join us there. So I have been here every day pretty much for the month of December and just trying to go through all the different parts of the profile, making sure that you have all the different piece parts. And we have a couple of things that one thing we want to cover today, one section we're going to cover today that it's kind of the busy work, but it's important busy work. And you'll see why in a minute. And these are just things just once a year, just check on these things. Even if you think you've got them right, just check on them, please, because you never know. And you'd be surprised at what you might find here. So what we are going to be talking about today, I'm going to screen share here with you. Let me share my screen here. And today we have my friend Lee, who's at the top of the LinkedIn feed today. So Lee, awesome article. Ross's articles are always amazing. We're going to go up here though to me and settings and privacy. And yes, the other day we talked about account preferences. Today we're going to talk about sign-in and security. So I know this seems like silly stuff, but I'm telling you, you have no idea how many people get this wrong when I'm working with them. Like, oh, I didn't know this was the setting, right? So email addresses, like open this up. I've got 4 email addresses in here. We covered this earlier. Make sure that your primary email address is one that you have access to regardless of where you work, right? Regardless of where you work. Like I have a couple different email addresses. And my primary one is my KarenYankovich.com email account. And it's hosted, and I have no doubt that we're going to be hosting it there maybe forever. I don't know. But at the end of the day, if I don't know, the hosting company goes out of business or whatever, I don't have access to that account, right? So I have backups as regular Gmail accounts. Now listen, anything could happen, right? You can't make yourself crazy, but make sure it's not like a company that you work for that has more control over your email account than you have. So check what these are, make sure they're cool. Check your phone numbers. Make sure that this is a phone number that you're okay with people having, right? I think this is my, this is my, that is one of the numbers that I have that I want to share, right? It's a number that I'm okay with people having. Change your password. Check. It says when it was last changed. It's probably time for me to change this again. It's been like 4 years, right? It's probably time for me to change my password again. And maybe I'll do that after this thing. Where you're signed in, not too big a deal. Devices that remember your password, 0. I don't want any devices to remember my password, my LinkedIn password. I like to I use LastPass for passwords. I am an IT geek. My background is IT, which brings us to this last step. Make sure that 2-step verification is on. I cannot tell you that this is not something you want to learn the hard way. Okay, I learned this the hard way on Facebook over a year ago. Somebody hacked into my Facebook account because I didn't have 2-step verification on, took control of my ad account. We still have not gotten our Facebook ad account back. So it was because somebody hacked into it and was running ads on my account, billing them to our credit card. So it was crazy, but it's bad on me that I didn't have 2-step authentication on, right, on Facebook. Now it's on. Is it a pain in the neck? Absolutely, right? I have 2-step authentication on GoDaddy, which is where we host our website. And anytime anybody that is working with helping me with our web stuff needs to get into GoDaddy, it texts me a code and I have to get the code to get in, right? So but I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't care because it's the protection that I need. And in the world that we live in, like I said, somebody from Vietnam hacked into my Facebook ad account. I mean, how long did they think the ads were going to run for, right? They got caught pretty quickly. So like in an hour or two. So, and I have now a year where I haven't had access to my ad account. Don't let this happen to you on LinkedIn. Don't lose access to your LinkedIn account, number 1, because you don't have control of the email address. Number 2, because you don't have 2-step verification on, right? So these are important settings. They're not a big deal, but they're important settings that you have set so that when you are showing up and you're doing all this work on LinkedIn, you're not losing access to your account. Does that make sense? It was a simple little tip today, but absolutely you want to do this. You absolutely want to do this. Lucy's saying, absolutely, totally agree with double verification. Went to hell and back with a hacked LinkedIn. Yeah. Who listen, sorry, I'm just reaching down to get my Apple Watch is dead. I got to charge my Apple Watch. Um, yeah, listen, it's a pain in the neck. I use an authenticator app. It's a pain in the neck, but it's so important so that that you're not losing access to anything that's important to your business, right? Because there's money associated with it. So I love that you agree with that, Lucy. It is a lesson I learned, and I knew better. I knew better. I have an IT background. I don't know how I didn't have it on Facebook. I do now. And actually, Facebook ads now requires you to have it on, and I do believe LinkedIn ads require you to have two-step authentication on as well. So listen, at the end of the day, we got to do what we can do to protect the things we work so hard for. So this is my quick little tip for today. Nothing earth-shattering, but it certainly could be if you don't realize that these settings are not set the way you think they're set. So we're going to continue to go through settings this week, but just know that that's our tip for today. And if you're just catching this first one and you want to see the whole series, you can binge watch these LinkedIn profile tips at linkedinprofilestips.com. It takes you to my YouTube playlist of all of these tips, and you can binge watch them. I highly recommend you do that. Go through all these sections of your LinkedIn profile, binge watch these tips, and let me know if you need some help. Right? If you need some help, I am always here to support you. You can just grab a spot on my calendar, KarenYankovich.com/call. All right. Be back tomorrow with more tips. Have a good day.